actually get enough stuff on so that there's got to be a bartering system. I know there is, because there was somebody the other day, a bag of sugar come to a tent of our friends, saying bag of sugar for salt. So there is a bartering system.
Right, yeah.
There are other systems whereby not everybody has nothing in there. So it is
Bye-bye.
possible, for argument's sake, that somebody has 10 blankets, will still stand in the queue for another 2 blankets.
Right.
To come with 12 blankets.
Okay.
And we think, isn't that disgusting? But when you think about it, they're sleeping in flimsy tents.
Yeah.
And they can't get enough blankets, they can't be warm enough. If nobody does anything before winter, that's the homes.
Exactly.
And sometimes they're lining, like the Sudanese people, they line the tents with it, and it
Blankets,
actually makes it a lot more comfortable. So it's not unreasonable that somebody wants a second pair of jeans, or for God's sake, even a third pair of jeans isn't unreasonable.
No, it's not.
But if a guy gets a third pair of shoes, and there's nothing wrong with that, if there's another guy got no shoes, but he always misses out on the queues because he's part of a minority, he's never at the place where people are doing distributions, then people can fall through that.
Yeah, it's so true, yeah.
So what we do, as you can see, what we're putting in the van is we walk through the jungle every day. We talk to people, we have tea with people, we talk, and we are looking for issues.
Yeah.
So yesterday, and you'll see it when you walk through, there's a place that's flooded out, the big marquee, but there's another place that's flooded out, and there's a little Sudanese community there.
Yeah.
And of course, when they get flooded out, the tents were actually in the water, they lose all the bedding. So we can quietly, and it's difficult, but we can quietly, we put some more blankets in there, we put some basic things that they need, and just sweetened it a little bit. But it's not an answer. Kind of anything we put in only lasts so long. It's great to give somebody a bag of food, but think about it. How many times you go to a supermarket and fill it up? And we give somebody a bag of food and somehow think, well, that's it, finished.
It's not the end of the problem, is it?
It's not. But with what we do, and so many beautiful people doing so much and want to do so much, that's the vibe that's going out. If that gets government policy changed, and we maybe even start seeing some of the big players coming into situations like this can be turned around tomorrow. Germany's putting tents down for people.
Yeah, Germany's
How hard is this? What are we doing? There's people in there, when you get into some of the areas that you don't even know there, but if you go through a couple of cuts and you see some plastic sheet tied to a tree, and a plastic sheet on the ground, and people are making a life in there, and this is summer. So obviously, once we're in a situation where there's enough going in, so that everybody feels they don't have to fight for blankets, and everybody feels they don't have to fight for it, then perhaps it'll calm, and we can really concentrate on newcomers, and we can really concentrate on people. But hey, at the same time, I'm a temporary volunteer, I'm not an expert, and I'm not representing the organisation, but I observe, I see these things.
The impression I'm getting is that you need manpower. You need people on the ground to come for a few days or weeks at a time, and actually help sort this stuff, distribute it, you know.
Yes.
Like.
But it's getting the right, I won't say man, personal power, it's getting the right people. And it's, to be honest, if somebody walks through and gives people cuddles and talks to people in a genuine way, that has got a tremendous value.
Sure,
just
everyone's got a different skill set.
Just
like,
give them a little bit of love.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, in terms of organisation, here we can't suddenly come in 6 years down the line or wherever it is and say, the Brits have arrived, we're going to sort it all out. Because we're not sorting it all out, we are just delivering stuff at the moment. But there are Brits here who are linking with the French organisations independently, like us, who are doing that. We are working with them in I hope, a very sympathetic way.
You need to turn up and do whatever they need you to do.
Right.
You need to turn up and say, like, just tell me what to do, I'll do it, basically.
So we've been here long enough now, right? And so it's like here today with Francois. Francois says to us, well, he knows what we do, and he knows where we're at. We're kind of part of the team. So we've even got a piece of paper now that'll give us access to certain areas. And of course we're trusted to pick up stuff because he knows we're going to deliver it. But when you first come onto the site and you're walking along, then everybody has a need. Now I might have 2 pairs of shoes, but I'll still come up to you and say, have you got any shoes in the van?
And people have been turning up and just distributing stuff themselves, and that's causing like really big problems, right?
Yeah. There's a vibe going around over in the UK that they think there's some people over here with authority who are saying, don't do this, don't do that. There's nothing to be further from the truth. But because there's nobody to tell us to do anything, but we work with the charities, and they've got an idea, and they've got a sense of what they're doing, and they're excellent, you know. them lose the dignity.
Yeah.
And for everybody standing in the queue, we're also creating a situation where perhaps people could get jostled, could even get hurt and things like that. And really, it's about taking simple precautions. If you're going to do delivery, for goodness sake, that's where the stuff needs to be. But if you turn up and you can't handle it, and the stuff's strewn all over the place in the muck and the
Creating
mud,
more problems.
and you drive away with half your van still full, you'll go away with a sad heart, a completely wrong idea with the people who are needing stuff, and worse still, we start blaming them for the behaviour. And what we don't
Doesn't give a good impression to the outside people.
But what we don't realise, it isn't. If we do it right, and you'll see this when you walk through and you talk to people, you do it right. Beautiful people. Just a bit desperate, that's all.
Yeah. Sure. Thanks so much for talking to me. It's really, really interesting.
Hey, that sounded like an interview.
It did, didn't it?